Hey everyone, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil, and it's time to talk Fringe. And I have no idea where we're going in this series, to be brutally honest. The end of season 1, the start of season 2, the show changed. Not only did it move to Vancouver, but we acknowledged the existence of the other world that we can sometimes glimpse via deja vu. Some people can travel back and forth between, and that other world seems to be a threat to our own. There's this first wave of shapeshifters that are coming to our world. The observers, unclear whether they're from the other world or not, but we know that the other world, things are a little bit different. The technology seems to be further advanced, yet they're on the same timeline as us. But how much of what Belle told Olivia can we fully trust? Where is the other? If the Belle that we spoke to, and by we I mean Olivia, is the Belle from our world, then where is that world's Belle? Where is that world's Walter? I can only imagine that the other world's Walter is pretty peeved at this world's Walter, since this world's Walter stole Peter from him. Presumably. We don't know exactly how Peter coming to our world happened, but I can't imagine it was a willing transaction. We concluded the Charlie as shapeshifter storyline. It would appear that, we know Charlie's dead. I don't think we're going to see him again. But there are shapeshifters out there, and so much I feel of what's coming is, who can you trust? Can the people that you think you know, are they really them? The potential for betrayal is incredibly high, knowing what we know about these worlds right now. But where does the story go from here? Do we go back to Weird Thing of the Week, or do we dive deep into this other world storyline and start preparing for the coming war? Olivia, has she been properly activated? There's these other tests that Jones left for her. We know that Olivia has some sort of gift, perception-based. It's what makes her a very good agent, but it goes beyond that. She seems well-suited to travel between the worlds. Not everybody is well-suited for that. But yeah, it's pure conjecture. It's pure hypothesis at this point. I have no idea where we're going from here, because there's so many options available to us. So let's just see what happens in this episode. Let's jump into it. This is episode 6 of season 2, and it's called Earthling. Yeah. Are we introducing aliens to the storyline? Is that what the observers are? They don't write in English or any terrestrial language that I know. Anyhow. Conjecture. Hypothesis.
His name's Walter Bishop. He worked out of Harvard.
Oh, this is like a reintroducing new audience to the show.
Was Dr. Frankenstein.
Intro. And the first wave have sort of found their leader and reanimated him. So are they going to take the next step, or are we? I have that table.
Hey, honey. I'm glad I caught you.
Where are you? Did you make it?
Airport lounge. About to board in 15 minutes.
That's not liar, liar.
Well, I understand. Don't worry.
I mean, if you have to work, you have to work.
Are you on your way home?
There was some traffic, but I'll be home in about 5 minutes.
Happy anniversary.
I love you.
I love you too.
Oh, this guy's about to die. Any cheaters on this show die. This guy's like leading a double life. This isn't a hotel room. Oh, come on. Oh. Okay. I'm thinking Alien only because of the title, but this is...
Randy, you totally got me.
Okay, not double life. He was just surprising his wife.
Randy?
Whoa. Okay.
No!
Okay. Huh. Okay, so he was just going to surprise his wife. I could have sworn he was a cheater, but he ended up dying anyway. Yeah. Lance Reddick. It looks so weird when he smiles because he does it so rarely. Oh, magic.
But before we can determine cause, we need to find some way to transport Mr. Danzig's remains back to my lab. So,
Vacuum.
I'll need a dust devil.
A vacuum cleaner?
Yeah.
Well, we'll need several.
Did this man happen to be a doctor or work in a hospital?
No, he was an investment banker.
Has he visited a hospital in the last 24 hours?
Has it happened to someone else?
It's not the first time I've seen this phenomenon.
Oh, he's seen it himself. From the past, perhaps.
5 deaths. Each of the victims worked at or had recently visited Tyson General down in D.C. After the 3rd death, I was contacted by an Eastern European man. He knew case-specific details. Details that only the killer would have known. He offered to turn himself in, but only if we could decipher his formula.
Walter's good at formulas.
Thank you. PD confirmed with Danzig's wife that he
We're
visited
gonna
his
go
mother in
back to that
hospital yesterday morning.
micro cassette recorder.
Lechmere, General.
Okay, it's happening in the hospitals. So what is this? Is this alien? Is this human? Did the Eastern European man turn into whatever this is? This smoke monster?
We're looking for an employee here of Eastern European descent who may have also worked in a DC area hospital about 4 years ago.
That equation describes something organic and highly radioactive. If it has anything to do with the man's death, then this man will be in the mid to low hundreds.
Nothing. Like nothing.
Well, first I would need to break her into her organic and inorganic parts, and then...
Walter?
Well,
Hello?
we're Goodwill Hunting at this.
Tetrachloride. You sly temptress.
Walter? Why'd the killer call you? Was it just to taunt you?
Quite the opposite. He was distraught. Said he couldn't control it. He wanted it to end.
Was she turned to ash? Yeah. Pretty solid effects. Well done, television.
Thomas Kozlov. He worked at the hospital in D.C. and quit the week the murder stopped. He's a night nurse in a coma unit. He never showed up for a shift tonight.
FBI, Thomas Kozlov.
But he's been at this hospital for 3 years until... So was our first victim, his mom was in a coma?
He knew we were coming. He must have seen us at the hospital.
I don't think it's that simple.
He forged his medical records' previous employment.
Well, you still know he's Russian. You certainly didn't get that from anywhere around here.
Good one.
Run it through AFIS.
It's APHIS. Don't spell it out by letters. Right?
Agent, can you solve it? We simply need more time. Maybe we should meet someplace, you and I. You can explain what it is we're not understood. Hello?
Your suspect is at the center of an ongoing international investigation led by the Russian government. By that definition alone...
Why are they searching for him?
He illegally removed some property belonging to the Russian Federation.
Property. A weapon.
I understand what this case means to you. But I'm sorry, there is nothing I can do here.
Did he lose somebody in this case? Okay, well, he's not a smoke monster right now. But he's obviously some sort of Russian agent.
So this is all...
More Russian equipment.
From this point forward, don't put anything down on paper. No documentation.
Anything we need to say to each other, we'll do it in person.
With all due respect, sir, when we break the rules, we've got you to protect us. Who's gonna protect you?
I'm aware of the risks.
Okay. Okay.
There is no face.
Dudham.
What is it?
I think you're gonna want to see this.
Yeah, okay. We're chasing a ghost.
It's possible that the technology that our Russian friend stole allows him to become this shadow. You wouldn't believe what those pinkos were up to.
Russian fringe science. There's a pleasant thought.
Okay. What do we know? Oh, astronaut. He's had an alien encounter. Oh, his brother is a cosmonaut.
Turns out that
Are you saying the cosmonaut's the shadow?
I don't know. But what is clear is Timur took his brother from the secret quarantine facility where he was being studied. I think Timur has been moving his brother around from hospital to hospital, guarding him.
Okay. Yeah, he's not going to be there.
It's the radiation that the entity is after.
All 5 of the victims were undergoing radiation treatment at the time of their deaths. The day that he visited Lachmere General, he took a cross-country flight in a window seat. 30,000 feet close to the sun. It's like getting a big fat head x-ray.
Is that true? Taking a window seat's like getting a head x-ray? I feel like there's got to be a better source of radiation than
Yeah, the lights and
people.
all the security monitors are down. We're going to backup power.
Oh, no, that's the brother right there. So what's the shadow? Is that there...
Thomas.
Maxine, I wish you hadn't seen me here.
Oh, well.
Are all the patients accounted for?
No. No. Yeah. Brother's gone. Maxine's in his bed, presumably. Is she dust?
She's been sedated.
Okay, she's not dust. You can touch her. So what happened to the brother in space? This thing's called Earthling. There has to be an alien encounter.
Is it possible that this cosmonaut somehow is our killer?
It wasn't the cosmonaut, but it could be something inside him. An organism capable of projecting itself without ever really leaving its host.
Why did the cosmonaut, the brother, why has it been 4 years since
Can we
he...
tell him that we can solve the formula?
Walter?
Yes. I can dominate her, Agent Broyles. First, I need something from home.
Super weird way to phrase that, Walter.
Будет новый дом, братка.
Call me when you get to town.
Oh, there's a T-Rex coming.
This is Special Agent Broyles from the FBI. I'm the agent you spoke with 4 years ago. I have information about the formula for you.
Oh, brother's waking up.
Это единственный способ удержать тебя.
Pull it back in. Oh. Brother shoots. Why has it never gone after the brother? Oh. Oh, it's almost like the organism brought him back to life. The organism needs a host.
The right tool for this job
is a puppet? No. Tinker Toy.
Why is this case so important to you?
Yeah, it's personal for sure.
For my wife. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. It ended our marriage.
So he did lose someone, but not to the shadow, so to speak. Not directly.
That's it. Physical representation of the formula. Oh no.
Мне тоже бегать надоело.
That's him.
Call Dr. Bishop.
Have you solved it this time?
But it's bad news, unfortunately. I believe the Russians have tried to remove the organism from the cosmonaut. They couldn't. It's not possible. You can't kill the organism without killing them both.
Agent, I'm going to hang up now.
We have the answer, Timur. But I don't think it's the one you want to hear. Timur?
I don't want him harmed.
But you've got to tell me where you are, Timur.
Well, that should happen by now.
Trust us.
Uh-oh. Oh, Timur.
Van door is open. He's moving his brother.
Nope, not so much. How'd he get in there? How much control does the shadow have over the physical realm? Dustin's doing a good job of holding the phone up.
How will you contain it before it kills again?
But I imagine we would need a lead case for starters. Oh no.
What's wrong?
Oh.
Must wait until the shadow returns to the cosmonaut.
We don't want his kind. Get rid of him.
I may have a different color, but I'm still a lion like you.
All right.
Walter?
We have to save the 10-year-old girl watching cartoons. Oh. Whoa. Did that?
Tara!
Can the organism uh-oh. Can the organism survive without the brother? Oh, oh, it's in her.
There was a man.
New host.
A shadow man. He disappeared.
New host. We're letting Russian agents onto American soil just like that. It was a weird anticlimactic ending, but...
The kids aren't here. They went over to Sadie's.
Ex-wife.
Actually, I came to talk to you. I closed that case.
Did you, though?
You've got a real friend in Senator Van Horn.
Who's this? Do we know him?
Is that so?
When the CIA says cease and desist, we kind of mean it.
CIA?
So, there isn't going to be any report, right?
What did you guys do with him? The cosmonaut?
We had no choice. Once he started breathing again.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Huh? This was a weird episode. Back when we had weird episodes of the week last season, weird occurrences, weird happenings, we tended to get we spelled things out a little bit more when we finally figured out what was going on. And in this one, we did to some degree, but I feel like it was still really open-ended, and I kind of like it. We're left to our imagination about what this alien entity is, what the shadow is, how it interacted with the cosmonaut, what happened, and how it works. We still really don't know. It's some alien organism, but beyond that, who knows? And it seems to be in this little girl now. So the case isn't really closed. It was kind of an anticlimactic climax to the whole thing. You know, we're trying to find the shadow. We're about to try and pull it back into the cosmonaut. We hear the screams, and Broyles just decides to kill the cosmonaut right then and there. And that seemingly closes the case, except what we saw with the interaction with the girl was the shadow's definitely in her. And then we had this interaction with the CIA at the very end. And they say the cosmonaut started breathing again, and then they had no choice about what to do at that point, but we don't find out what they did. This guy just looks up to the night sky. Does that mean they launched him into space? Does that mean did they incinerate him? Is it all misdirection so that Broyles stops thinking about the case, which he already thinks is closed? It's confusing. And I can't decide whether it's purposely confusing or whether it's slightly weak writing. I don't know yet. I think it depends on whether we revisit this storyline or not. We'll have a better understanding of it if we ever come back to this alien shadow. Which I'm not convinced we will. Because it doesn't feel related. It feels like it's one of the... Like so many of our weirdnesses of the week are related in some degree to ZFT and the other world, and there are connections. This feels completely isolated in its own bubble of weirdness that's unrelated to anything else that we've come across during the show so far. So it's interesting. It's interesting. The other interesting thing about this episode is that this was a Broyles episode. We haven't spent a lot of time with Broyles, and I like that we're getting that. We're fleshing him out. We're giving him a little backstory. You know, we've learned through the past that he's been through a divorce. Olivia asked him for his lawyer's number, but we didn't know any of the backstory to it. And it turns out this is it. There was a case that he couldn't solve, that he dove into, that he obsessed over, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back of his marriage, and his wife left him. Whether or not it's right, the way this case concluded for Broyles this episode certainly has given him some closure. He thinks it's done, it's over and done with. It's not. There's at least the shadow in this little girl. At least temporarily. Maybe the shadow's left a little girl. Like, it's ambiguous. It's confused. And I can't decide whether it's intentional or not. Or whether I'm obtuse. Maybe I'm missing out on something from this episode. I've always been a fan of Lance Reddick. Primarily from The Wire. He's brilliant in that. Nobody plays serious, straight edge, badass better than him. He's the most intimidating boss ever, but a total straight shooter. And yet, it's so weird seeing him break that persona that he's so good at, and almost always plays. He cracks a smile when he's playing when he's playing sort of follow the leader with the little boy in the restaurant at the very opening of the episode, and he smiles, and it looks weird on Lance Reddick when he smiles, because that's not what he does. But yeah, I mean, I'm all for getting more character from our main characters. And we lost Charlie before we could get too much from him, but I would love if we could learn more, not just about Walter and Olivia, but it's cool getting more from Broyles. But let's learn more about Astrid. But the backstory I really, really, really want, because we keep dancing around it, is Peter being taken from the other world and brought to ours. That feels so integral to this the spine of our main story, and I feel we need to know more about that. What happens when Peter finds out about that? He went through a phase after his abduction, or his move from one to the other. Calling it an abduction is a bit of an assumption, but he went through this phase where he didn't dream for like almost 10 years afterwards, and maybe that's a natural response to the trauma of being kidnapped. Or maybe that's something that Walter induced somehow, scientifically, so that he wouldn't remember, so that he wouldn't have these bad dreams of that traumatic event. It feels like every episode we have a reference to Peter's childhood, where Walter says something along the lines of, "Is when you were a little boy, you did this," and Peter doesn't remember these things because that's not him. That was the other Peter, the one that died. You know, sometimes it's so on the nose now, in retrospect at least. You know, Walter comes right out and says, "Peter, you won't remember this, but when you were a little kid," and it sounds like a throwaway phrase, but in retrospect, it's all through season 1, and it's on the nose accurate. We just didn't understand what it referred to exactly. I'm happy for episodes like this, but man, I want to dive back into the main storyline. But now we know more about Broyles. When we dive back in, I like that we're fleshing out these characters. It'll make the way they act in the main storyline down the road that much more intriguing. It just gives them that much more added dimension. Anyway, I'm excited for more. We got a big season ahead of us. We're slowly making our way through it, but each episode's an adventure, to say the least. Can't wait for the next one, guys. So until then, take care, stay healthy. See you soon. Cheers.